Hey, well, welcome back. Joe Blasco here on MUA TV Spotlight on Success, and we're here at the home of Dan Striepeke, and we are amid sculpting class. All right, and to my right is the very well-known master hairstylist for film and television, Miss Kathy Blondell. Kathy.
Yes.
How many films have you done? I mean, you've been.
Well, we were talking about it today, and of course I said, well, I've probably done 50 films, and then we said, well, you've probably done about 100.
100 films. 100 films. Are you retired now? Are you?
I am not retired. I am active retired,
Yes.
as they call it.
Yes.
I'm going to work in July.
Yes.
But this is the first time in my career that I decided that I needed to stay home for a while. I had been had 4 jobs or 5 jobs right in a row. I was out of town for 4 years. Nothing in town. So
Right.
you kind of
on location. Yeah, you need to
you have to
stay
come
in town
home.
after that.
You have to come home.
Yeah, you get that that desire to not travel as much.
Right.
Well, were you a hairstylist in salons before you started
Yes.
in film?
Yes.
And how did you make the transition from salons into film?
I was dragged.
Screaming, kicking and screaming.
Kicking and screaming.
Tell us about that.
My entire family was in this business. My aunt was an actress.
Joan Blondell.
Yes. And my dad was a gaffer who never wanted me in this business. And my best friend, Susan Germain, who is also a hairstylist in this business, her grandmother was in the business, is also a hairstylist.
Yeah.
And she had started working, and I actually was a business major, and they put me in a room with no windows, and I was very unhappy. And she said, "You have to go to beauty school." I said, "Oh no, don't try it. I'm not going in that business, sorry." And eventually she just dragged me right in, and I've never been happier.
Yeah. What was your first film? Do you remember?
I didn't know you were going to ask me that. Let's see. Well, the very first film.
The first film that you really, really enjoyed, one that was a real challenge to you, let's say.
Well, let's say my very first period picture
Period film.
was the Hawaiians.
The Hawaiians.
And it was when I was really in charge,
Yes.
and I was scared to death
Yeah.
and a nervous wreck. I was smoking at the time. I was smoking 4 packs of cigarettes a day when I hit the first island. That, of course, went away very fast, but I was a nervous wreck.
So tell us, how did you approach doing the hairstyles for that? Because it's all period work.
Well, oh yeah, well you have to, Hawaii of course was not your typical period. So I did a lot of research. We had cues, we had everything. We had Japanese geisha girls and then we had the Hawaiians, which were pretty plain.
Yes. Now, of all the films that you've done, when we've spoken of the Hawaiians, of all the films that you've done, what film would you say, outside of that one, offered you the most challenge?
Aviator.
The Aviator, you did that. Excellent.
I did the entire movie.
Excellent.
I was requested by Leo,
Yes.
but hired as the department
Leo
head.
DiCaprio.
Yes. Hired as the department head, and
This was the Howard Hughes story.
yes, and asked to go. We went to Canada. I was not allowed to take a second from here, which made me very nervous because I was given a crew that I did not know what they could do. So I asked to have a class formed because in Montreal, the group of people that do movies is very small.
Yes.
So they were pulling people from beauty salons also. The hard part for me was that I had to do a lot of the
All the
main
principles.
principles that had to come back here and work. So I was very kind of protective about that.
Yes.
And Leo one day said to his makeup artist, who is Sean Grigg, they were talking, she said, "Kathy, this is a pretty good picture for you." And I said, "Yeah? Why?
What do you
Well,
mean, Leo?
it's pretty easy. You just come in here and you do my hair." And his makeup artist looked at him and said, yeah, and the other 500,000 people she's doing on this movie? He says, aren't you just doing me? And I said, no.
He didn't know that you
He
were
didn't
doing
realize that
everyone.
I came into his trailer, did him,
And then went off and did everybody
and went over
else.
to the other makeup trailer and did them, and then went to the what we call the
bullpen.
bullpen,
Right.
and did them.
My
And
God.
so it was.
Well, you sure straightened him out real quick.
Well, it was quite. You know, I've never had to do that since. He's asked for me just exclusively.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Name a few other films that you've done that we would know.
Well,
You've done
I did Blood Diamond, Road to Perdition.
Wow.
They just came out.
Road to Perdition.
Yeah. Ashcliff will be coming out, which I think will be called Shutter Island, which I did with Leo. I must say I've been very lucky. I worked with Goldie Hawn for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And her daughter also, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And I've had Jacqueline Bisset, I did for a while, and Marcia Mason, some
Oh, I worked with Marcia so many times.
wonderful actors and
great
actresses.
people. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
And of course Tom Hanks, and of course I knew Dan Striepeke when he was the head of the department at 20th Century.
That's right.
And you could not ask for a better teacher.
Yeah, no, he's wonderful.
And you could not ask for someone that is more free. The thing that's magical about him is his freedom of thought and where he gets his ideas.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I want to thank you.
You're
for-
welcome.
For
Thank
being
you.
here today. This has been such fun.
It has been fun.
And the food was remarkable.
If you all enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is Joe Blasco right here at Dan Striepeke's home in the beautiful Laurel Hills above Sunset with Kathy Blondell. And I don't want you to go away because we have a lot more hair and sculpting programming right here for you on MUA TV. We'll be right back right after this.